Hello friends, I am Sabah Kausar Sheikh, Assistant Professor in Electrical Engineering Department, and today we shall see the testing of power cables part 2 of the um, part 2 of the video. In the last video we have already seen the construction of a typical cable followed by causes of cable failure. In this video we shall see only two methods, that is cable tracing and cable fault sheath location method. So let us first see the cable tracing method. A successful cable fault location relies on knowing the position of the cable and other lines laid in the soil. Magnetic frequency procedures can be used to establish the position and depth of the cable using the minimum or maximum method. The exact position of the joint can be established using the twist field method. So basically, for cable tracing, there are three different methods as seen in this figure over here. One is the galvanic connection, second is the inductive connection, and third is the inductive connection with a frame antenna. Now what is done in the first method is, if you can see the figure over here, all the conductors are open. So basically you have to first trace the cable. So you have a starting point with you, you have an end point with you, but these cables are many kilometers long. So you do not know exactly where these cables are, how they are laid, because after many years if you are doing this, then you do not know the exact path of the cable. So what is generally done, the two ends which are accessible to us, we open those two ends, right? We open all the conductors, right? And then we randomly earth the far end conductor, that is in this case we'll treat this is to be the far end. So we'll earth the far end, any one conductor on the far end is earthed, and on the say at the um, at the other end we'll connect one galvanometer and earth the any one of the conductors. Now if there is continuity between the conductors, then the galvanometer shows null deflection. So that means it is the same, that means there's continuity, and we have got the we can trace the conductor in that sense. But so this is not a very foolproof method and it requires a lot of time. So therefore we go for the next method, which is known as the inductive connection with the current clip-on device. Now in this again what is done is, both the ends, the far end as well as the near end, both are earthed first of the cable. Then there is a we use a clamp-on meter to connect. A clamp-on meter is connected at one of the ends near the cable, surrounding the cable, around the cable through a galvanometer. So if there is and we try to trace the path. So if there's a if the so the current sensing is done, and then we know whether there is then the galvanometer detects the current, so we know we are going in the right path, we are tracing the right cable. The next one is the inductive connection with frame antenna. Now in this there is a search coil. So most of the time you might have seen people walking on the road with like a something like a stick in their hand. So that is nothing but a search coil which is there. So this is the cable which is laid underground, and then there is a transmitter and a receiver. So there is a transmitter which is placed at one of the stations or from the end where you're starting, and then there is a search coil. So you move with the search coil on the surface, or on the ground where the cable is laid. So you can see the distance, it is saying A should be greater than 10 meters. So important correct positioning of transmitter is where A is greater than 10 meters. So once you are in the right direction, the search coil continuously gives you a signal. It either gives you an alarm or it gives you the direction, or both in some cases, depending on the company of manufacturer. Okay, so these are the different methods of cable tracing. Next, let us see the cable sheath fault location method. The cable sheath is usually insulated with PE, that is polyethylene synthetic, in order to prevent ingress into the insulation. To detect faults at the earliest possible stages, DC sources are used to test sheath insulation and DC impulse signals for locating sheath fault. Now, this is a typical cable sheath fault location method that is shown in this figure. Okay, so this is of the company Shirla, from where I have taken this picture. Um, okay, in this let me describe the figure first of all for you. So this is the conductor which is shown here. This is number 3. This is the conductor at this point. Then on top of that is the shield. This is number 2. Okay, then on the shield, that is we had shown in the construction in the previous video that on the conductor there is a metallic shield, and on the metallic shield is the final cable sheath. Okay, so this is the first number, that is final cable sheath, and this is where the point where the cable sheath fault has occurred, that is this is the number 4. Okay, so cable sheet fault is here at this point. We have shown the cable sheet fault that has occurred. Now this 5, what you see over here, these are the receivers, right, with earth gradient voltage pickup. So these 3 are the receivers that you can see over here, and this signal what is shown in this figure is your signal, receiving signal, which is bidirectional, which you are getting from the device. Now this is a typical Shirla. This is the device which is injecting the signal into this cable sheet, into this sheath over here. Okay, so let me clear this for you before we start. So now what is done in this is this particular cable sheet fault locator will inject a voltage. We will inject a voltage. Most of the times it is a DC impulse. It is either a DC signal or a impulse signal which is injected into this sheath over here. Now what happens when the device injects a signal over here, then these receivers pick up these signals. So the point, so where there is no fault, that means wherever the sheath is healthy, they will these receivers will not show very good value. But wherever there is a leakage, that is wherever the sheath is broken, at this point especially, you can see that there are many signals which are coming out and which is picked up by this middle transistor over here. Okay, and therefore if you see that this is so this transistor, this receiver is also pointing towards the right side, whereas the middle one is showing the null deflection, and the right side is pointing on the left side, indicating that the fault is somewhere in the middle or near the central receiver. So this shows, and this is also very well depicted by the bidirectional signal over here. So this depicts the exactly how these receivers are getting the signal. So this is the voltage signal over here, and this is the distance on the x-axis. So if you see, the voltage signal goes on increasing where the fault is there. So where there is a fault, where the sheath is broken, there the signal is the maximum in both the direction, and then it goes on reducing. So this indicates as the distance, so where there is the fault, that distance, the signal is maximum at that place. So this is how, with the help of this cable sheet fault locator, we can easily find out where is the exact location of the cable sheath without digging. And after, once the fault is located, then you can do exactly dig at that particular point and find out the sheath fault location. That's all. Thank you.